My husband handed me divorce papers and said he was moving in with his pregnant girlfriend, expecting me to crumble without his support. He'd been siphoning money from our joint account for 2 years, buying baby furniture with my savings while I slept next to him every night. My husband Trevor walked into our bedroom last Tuesday, holding his phone like it was evidence in a murder trial, and announced he'd been living a lie for the past 18 months. His affair partner Brianna was pregnant. He'd already signed a lease on a condo downtown, and he needed me to understand this wasn't about me. It was about him finally choosing happiness. He actually said I should be grateful he was honest instead of stringing me along, then stood there waiting for me to thank him. Now he's blocked on everything, and his mother keeps apologizing to me at the grocery store. I'm Emma, 34, and I thought I had my life figured out. Married to Trevor for 9 years, working as a graphic designer from home, living in a decent townhouse in the suburbs. Not exciting, but stable. Comfortable. Safe. Looking back, the signs were obvious. 6 months ago, Trevor started a new job at a tech startup downtown. Suddenly, our 7 p.m. dinners became 9 p.m. "Sorry, got caught up at work" texts. He bought a gym membership at some boutique place that cost $200 a month. Started wearing cologne I didn't buy him. The phone thing was the biggest tell. Trevor used to leave his phone everywhere. Kitchen counter, bathroom, car. Suddenly it was glued to his hand, face down on every surface. Password change from our anniversary to something I didn't know. When I asked about it, he got defensive. Said I was being paranoid and controlling. That I needed to work on my trust issues. Classic gaslighting, but I didn't see it then. I just felt guilty for questioning him. The new wardrobe came next. Trevor used to live in hoodies and jeans. Then came the button-downs from Bonobos, fancy sneakers from Allbirds, and a leather jacket that cost more than our monthly grocery budget. "I need to look professional for client meetings," he said. I believed him because I wanted to. 3 weeks ago, I was cleaning out his car, my mistake for being helpful, and found a receipt from a jewelry store. My heart stopped. Our anniversary wasn't for months. Maybe he was planning to surprise me? Some desperate part of my brain clung to that hope. Instead of confronting him, I checked our bank statements. That's when everything came crashing down. There were charges I didn't recognize, hotels, restaurants we'd never been to together, Uber rides to addresses across town, even a payment to an OB/GYN clinic I'd never heard of. I sat there at our kitchen table, laptop open, watching 9 years of marriage dissolve into a spreadsheet of lies. The numbers told a story Trevor hadn't. He'd been living a completely separate life, spending our money, my money too, since I contributed equally on someone else. When Trevor came home that night, I had everything printed out. Bank statements, credit card bills, even the jewelry store receipt highlighted. I expected him to deny it, to gaslight me more, to make me feel crazy. Instead, he just sighed like I'd caught him sneaking cookies before dinner. "I was going to tell you this weekend," he said, sitting down across from me. "Brianna's pregnant. We're moving in together. I've already found a place." The casual way he said it, like he was announcing a job change or a new hobby, that hurt almost more than the words themselves. "How long?" I asked. 18 months. 18 months. A year and a half of lying next to me in bed while texting someone else, of letting me plan our future while building one with her, of watching me cook dinner and clean our house and do his laundry while he played house elsewhere. "I need you to sign the divorce papers quickly," he continued. "Brianna's due in 4 months, and I want this settled before the baby comes. It's cleaner that way. Cleaner." Like our marriage was a mess he needed to tidy up. I didn't cry, didn't scream, just asked him to leave. He looked almost disappointed, like he'd expected more drama, wanted me to give him a reason to paint me as the unstable ex-wife. He packed a bag. Apparently he'd been slowly moving things out for weeks, I just hadn't noticed, and left. Didn't look back, didn't apologize, just walked out the door like he was heading to work. That night, I sat in our bed alone, looking at wedding photos on my phone. That girl smiling in the white dress had no idea what was coming. I almost felt sorry for her. It's been 2 weeks since Trevor walked out, and I've barely slept. Not because I'm crying, though there's been plenty of that, but because I've been building a case. My best friend Nadia came over the day after Trevor left. She took one look at me, ordered Thai food, and said, "Okay, we're going full forensic accountant on his ass." Nadia works in fraud investigation for a bank. If anyone could help me untangle Trevor's financial lies, it was her. We started with the obvious, our joint checking account. Trevor had been careful, no huge withdrawals that would catch my attention. Instead, it was death by 1,000 cuts. $50 here for a work lunch, $100 there for team drinks, $200 for client entertainment. Except Nadia showed me how to cross-reference the dates. Those work lunches happened on Saturdays. The team drinks were at wine bars across town, nowhere near his office. The client entertainment included regular charges at a baby boutique called Little Sprouts. He's been buying baby stuff for months, Nadia said, pulling up the credit card statement. Look, crib, stroller, car seat. He was planning this whole new life while still sleeping in your bed. That hurt worse than the affair somehow. The premeditation of it all. But we kept digging. Nadia showed me how to check Venmo. Trevor's account was public. There were payments to Brianna going back 20 months. Nothing huge, just $30-$50 labeled things like dinner or coffee, or my personal favorite, "You're amazing." I screenshotted everything. Then came the real discovery. Our joint savings account, the one we'd been building for a down payment on a house, had $12,000 less than it should have. I'd been transferring $500 a month for years. Where had it gone? Nadia found it. Trevor had opened a separate savings account in just his name. He'd been slowly siphoning money from our joint account into his private one. Not huge amounts, but steady. $300 here, $500 there. Over 2 years, he'd moved almost $15,000. That's financial fraud, Nadia said flatly. In a divorce, this is going to destroy him. I called a lawyer the next morning. Her name is Diane, she's 55, wears power suits, and doesn't sugarcoat anything. Your husband is an idiot, she said after reviewing my evidence. I've seen affairs, I've seen financial hiding, but documenting it all this clearly. He made my job easy. Diane filed for divorce immediately. In our state, financial infidelity matters. The money Trevor moved, the joint funds he spent on his affair partner, all of it would be factored into the settlement. Trevor called me that afternoon. Did you really need to get lawyers involved? We can handle this like adults. Adults don't steal from their spouses, I said, and hung up. His mother, Patricia, called me the next day. Emma, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Trevor told us you two were separating mutually. I sent her screenshots, the Venmo payments, the hotel charges, the baby boutique receipts. Patricia was quiet for a long time. Then, I raised him better than this. I'm so sorry. She's been texting me since, asking if I need anything. Even offered to testify about Trevor's assets if needed. Apparently, he'd been borrowing money from his parents, claiming we needed help with house repairs. We didn't. That money went to furnishing his love nest with Brianna. The best discovery came from Instagram. Trevor had blocked me, but he forgot about my old photography account, the one I used for design work and barely posted on. Brianna's account was public, and there was Trevor in dozens of posts going back months. Beach trips, concert photos, restaurant check-ins at places he told me he'd never been. One photo from 7 months ago showed them at a brewery with the caption, "Best weekends with this one." I'd been home that weekend with food poisoning. Trevor said he was at a work conference. I downloaded every photo, every caption. Time-stamped and geotagged, Diane nearly cried happy tears when I sent her the folder. Emma, she said, by the time we're done, he's going to regret every decision he made. Yesterday I did something petty, changed all our streaming passwords. Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, Spotify, all things I paid for on my credit card. Within an hour, I got a text. Really? The streaming accounts? I blocked his number and made myself dinner. A nice dinner, with wine, in my quiet house that suddenly felt more like home than it had in months. 1 month since Trevor left, and the divorce is moving faster than he expected. Turns out when you have ironclad evidence of financial infidelity, things get expedited. But here's what I didn't expect. Brianna reached out to me on Facebook. Not to gloat or defend herself, to compare notes. Her message was simple. Did Trevor tell you he owns his own startup? Because he told me he does. I stared at that message for a full minute before responding. He works for a startup, doesn't own it. Why? Her response came fast. Screenshots. Lots of them. Messages where Trevor claimed he'd founded his company, that he was about to close a major funding round, that he was worth low seven figures on paper and just waiting for the right exit. All lies. He owes me $8,000, Brianna typed, said it was a short-term loan until his equity payout came through. That was 5 months ago. We ended up on the phone. Weirdest conversation of my life. Brianna crying, me drinking wine, both of us realizing we'd been dating the same pathological liar. He told me you were emotionally abusive, she said quietly. That you controlled all the money and he couldn't leave. That he was trapped. I actually laughed. I didn't even know about his private savings account until after he left. He had more financial freedom than I did. Brianna was quiet. Then, he told me the baby was an accident, but I found texts on his laptop. He'd been tampering with my birth control, poking holes in condoms. I thought I was being paranoid, but my blood ran cold. That's reproductive coercion. That's abuse. She started crying harder. I know that now. I'm 7 months pregnant with a baby I'm not sure I want, tied to a man who lied about everything, and I have no idea what's real anymore. Part of me wanted to gloat. This was karma, right? She'd knowingly slept with a married man. But listening to her breakdown, I just felt sad for both of us. I'm keeping screenshots of everything, I told her. If you need them for your own legal stuff, let me know. We hung up. I felt weird, dirty somehow, like I'd been betrayed all over again, but from a different angle. Trevor started calling from new numbers. His messages escalated from annoyed to desperate. We need to talk about the house. Emma, be reasonable. My lawyer says you're being vindictive. The baby's coming, I need financial security. That last one made me laugh out loud. He needed financial security? The man who'd stolen from our joint savings and spent it on his affair? Diane filed a motion to freeze Trevor's private savings account, the one with our money in it. The judge granted it immediately. That $15,000 wasn't going anywhere until the divorce settled. Trevor showed up at our house, my house now, since only my name was on the mortgage, another thing he'd apparently lied to Brianna about, banging on the door at 10 p.m. I called the police. They escorted him off the property and gave him a warning about harassment. His mom called me the next day. He's staying with us. He's a mess, Emma, crying all the time. Says his whole life is falling apart. Good, I said. I didn't feel bad about it. Work became my sanctuary. I'd been taking on extra freelance projects, building my portfolio, saving money in my own private account. One of my clients offered me a full-time position with benefits. Better pay, creative freedom, stability. I took it without hesitation. Meanwhile, Trevor's life continued its downward spiral. Brianna posted on Facebook that she was moving back to her parents' house in another state. Raising my baby where I have support, she wrote. No mention of Trevor. He lost it. Started calling me again from his mom's phone, which I hadn't blocked. Brianna's leaving. Taking my baby. I need character references for the custody lawyer. Will you tell them I'm not abusive? I hung up and blocked that number too. The divorce mediation happened last week. Trevor showed up in a wrinkled shirt, unshaven, looking like he hadn't slept in days. His lawyer looked exhausted, probably from dealing with him. Diane presented our evidence calmly. The financial statements, the private savings account, the money he'd spent on Brianna, the loans from his parents he'd lied about. Trevor tried to argue that he deserved half of everything because we'd been married 9 years. Diane pointed out that he'd stolen money and committed financial fraud. The mediator suggested Trevor settle quickly, or this would get very expensive for him in court. We broke for lunch. Trevor cornered me in the hallway. Emma, please, I made mistakes, but we can work this out. I still care about you. I looked at him, really looked at him. This man I'd shared a bed with for 9 years, who I'd trusted completely, who'd destroyed everything for someone he'd lied to as well. You don't care about me, I said quietly. You never did. You care about yourself. And now you're facing consequences. His face crumpled. My whole life is falling apart. No, I corrected. Your lies are catching up with you. There's a difference. I walked away. Didn't look back. The divorce is final. Signed, sealed, delivered. I got the house, my car, and 70% of our liquid assets as restitution for the money Trevor stole. He got his car, his debt, and a hard lesson about consequences. It's been 4 months since Trevor walked out, and I barely recognize my life in the best way possible. Trevor's situation has stabilized in the worst way. He's living with his parents permanently. Brianna had the baby, a girl, and moved to Oregon with her family. Trevor sees his daughter via FaceTime twice a week and pays child support that his parents help him afford because he got fired from his startup job. Turns out he'd been padding his expense reports, using company money for his double life. They audited him after Brianna's loans raised red flags and everything unraveled. He's working at Best Buy now. His mom told me this apologetically, like I'd care. I don't. My life looks completely different. The house feels like mine now. I repainted the bedroom, donated half of Trevor's abandoned stuff, and turned his home office into my design studio. It has plants, good lighting, and absolutely no bad memories. The new job is incredible. I'm art director now, managing a small team, working on campaigns for major clients. The salary is double what I made freelancing. I'm contributing to a 401k, have health insurance, and actually took a vacation day without guilt last week. Met someone. His name is Adrian. He's a teacher, and he's refreshingly normal. No secret double life, no financial schemes, just a guy who texts me good morning, shows up when he says he will, and hasn't once made me question my sanity. We're taking it slow. I'm not ready to jump into anything serious, but it's nice having someone who thinks I'm interesting without needing me to be anyone other than myself. Patricia, Trevor's mom, still texts me occasionally. She sent flowers on the day the divorce finalized with a card that said, "You deserve better." She's right. I did. I do. Last week, Trevor sent one final message from yet another new number. "I hope you're happy. You destroyed my life." I read it, sitting in my studio with coffee in my favorite mug, sunlight streaming through the windows. Then I deleted it. I didn't destroy his life. He did that all by himself. I just stopped letting him destroy mine. And yeah, Trevor, I am happy. Maybe for the first time in years. Gerald. No, wait, that's someone else's succulent. I named my snake plant Geraldine. She's thriving. So am I.